Hi guys, welcome to Lighthouse Intuitive Tarot. My name's Julie and this is Saturday, April the 15th, and I'm going to be tapping into general energies I've premeditated upon and pre-shuffled these decks. So first thing, we're going to grab ourselves an oracle card and see what the overall energies are. So this is a general reading for all signs for the collective. So just tapping into what's in the environment right now, what's relevant for us all to sort of be aware of, paying attention to, tapping into, exploring and moving through. What do we have here on the oracle? All right. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Yeah. So this card speaks to me. If you look into the imagery of the card itself, it's showing me the, well, first of all, the image of a divine female figure, very grandmotherly, with a loving energy, her arms outstretched over all of creation. And that energy, where it says, where the card itself speaks to laying foundations and the divine plan of seeding the light. So the word seeding jumps out to me immediately because we're in the springtime in the Northern Hemisphere. Everything's starting to warm up. It is definitely seeding time. But in terms of the laying of foundations, I really feel that energetically, there's been so much shift in the planetary movements with some real sort of major players. I mean, all planets are major players, but the movement of Pluto, the movement of Saturn, these are planets that take years and years and years, to cycle around the sun. And so it's very much a time of change, great change. And what we're seeing is foundations, new foundations being laid down, because old paradigms, like with change, what inevitably has to happen is that old narratives, old paradigms, ways of being need to change with that energy. So there will be things that break down. We're also in a Mercury retrograde. So typically in a Mercury retrograde, which I'm for some reason having a difficult time saying right now, Mercury is all about communications. So communication, breaks down, and that's kind of changing. Now, the Mercury retrograde only lasts about a month, but it's a time of review, and it's a time of, reassessment and double checking yourself. And even that for me speaks to this, setting the new foundation, making sure that things are where they need to be, and seeding with consideration for the new and for what will grow, either anew or, as a fresh start kind of thing, something entirely different, something entirely new to all of us, to the collective. So that's a beautiful, beautiful energy of light and abundance as well. As soon as I looked at the card, the word abundance jumped out at me immediately because of all of this growth. So the seeding is beautifully successful. So I feel like that's a foreshadowing as well of what is to come in the energy. And I'm also seeing, the Sphinx here, the Egyptian pyramids, and sort of that immediately always speaks to me of ancient knowledge, of civilizations that are still in existence, but they have had to undergo massive shifts in consciousness over the evolution in the course of humanity. And there is an enormous amount of ingrained wisdom into this current generation, this collective of beings, humans that are on the planet right now, and other beings as well, but particularly with human beings. Our souls have already been privy to these past lives, this information, all of this ancient beloved wisdom still exists in our hearts and souls. So seeding the light is acknowledging that there is so much over the course of our history, over the eternity of the millennia, that we collectively, that the collective human experience, the human soul has undergone and moved through and, experienced and then grown from. And, all of that is very important to also acknowledge, because it is living within us still. And it exists in our consciousness, and we must prioritize tapping back into those ancient wisdoms, those beloved foundations and priorities. We must make them a priority as we grow this new earth, as we move into this new time, and as we welcome forward, the change, basically. Ooh, we got a lot of that card. Thanks for bearing with me on that one. So we're going to go to the tarot now. As I said, I did pre-shuffle. So thank you, Spirit, so far for the Oracle. What do you want to show us for the collective here? What's in the collective energies? Whoops, that's too many. Thank you. What's in the collective energies right now? So just FYI, I saw the Queen of Wands there on that flip over. That was just at the top of there's the Hermit energy, which is Virgo energy, major arcana for Virgo. The Hermit is a seer. The Hermit is wise. The Hermit is a reclusive soul, not reclusive for the sake of shunning humanity, but rather for the appreciation of the lack of distraction in his hermit state, his hermitude, if you will. There is the Ace of Swords. We've got the Four of Pentacles, Four of Wands, and the Two of Wands. Okay, bottom of the deck, 10 of Wands, which was showing itself a lot in the shuffle. Okay, so back to what the Hermit represents. The Hermit is this hermit, this recluse who is in this hermit state simply to eliminate the ego distractions. And when I say ego distractions, I don't mean it in an insulting kind of egoic way. I mean just the human experience kind of ego way, where our brains are just programmed to protect us and to do good for us, to keep us safe and thriving to the best of its ability. So just the Hermit is actually about the giant master power that can move away from all of that and find the solitude in order to find more wisdom, and then bring that wisdom forward in their lantern to cast star energy, which is hope energy, which is life energy, which is, origin energy, out into the collective, shine it down from the highest spots and help, people at the lower cusps sort of be able to look up and bask in this light of wisdom, and to follow the path, that the Hermit has been able to sort of become in contact with. Now that's further highlighted by this card here, which is the Ace of the Swords. And the Ace of Swords is really about a truth coming to light, an inspired flash of wisdom, of clarity, of honesty, something needing to come forward. So perhaps it's a hermit style energy, it's having taken that time out. And we're also seeing the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles speaks to that time out moment. So the Ace of Swords is the new beginning around this new truth, this new clarity, this honesty, this new piece of information that has now revealed itself. So some type of a fog has kind of lifted away. And this is speaking to the change that we are experiencing energetically and the laying of new foundations. We're going to need to see these inherent truths as we lay down these new foundations. The Four of Pentacles is a card of, as you can see, this figure is really kind of hanging on to, in a miserly sort of fashion, his pentacles. You know, he's guarding them in a relatively, like it's a prudent energy, which is fine. Something about this figure feels like he's needed to be prudent. And certainly we've been experiencing that, right? In post-COVID world, you know, I guess it's post-COVID. I'm sure it is really, like, anyway, moving on from that. It's, you know, he's kind of, things are more expensive, right? Our economic times are tightened right now, and we're dealing with a lot of pressures, right? Financially, materially. And this figure is feeling that. So perhaps, you know, in the collective, and I do feel as though the collective has been feeling that sort of the tighter, the pinch, you know, often you hear people discussing in the news, on the radio, oh, this has risen and that's risen. And, you know, this has come into a hardship because of new pricing. And in the grocery stores, we're seeing shortages of this and that because of, you know, rising costs of fuel and delay in transport, et cetera, et cetera. So it can lead to this emotion, you know, this energy, this feeling of, I really need to guard what it is that I have. That's, again, that's prudent, and it's, there's wisdom in it, but there can also be a lack of sort of faith and trust in it. So, and aces are really about faith and trust. You know, aces are about rolling the dice on basically the universe kind of presenting opportunities and new points of departure. And we've got to focus on those gifts and recognize that they are gifts. So this is coming back to the Hermit, you know, employing our wisdom within ourselves to know that when the universe presents us these sort of beacons of light, these moments of truth, that we're meant to pay attention to them, and we're not meant to stay in the more stuck energies of, you know, maybe a Four of Pentacles kind of vibe. So it's asking us to come out of any kind of Four of Pentacles energy and in fact be celebratory and grateful in this Four of Wands energy, that we have the foundations. This is also speaking to foundation. So instead of staying in a miserly foundation energy, moving into celebratory foundation energy, recognizing that community and partnership and committed endeavors are going to be like that those are the relationships really are part of this truth, this wisdom that is being shown to us. This is the way forward. This is the way forward into positive change and laying down positive, meaningful foundations, moving into our future. And the Two of Wands shows that there is an imminent movement at this point now. There's inspired choice right in front of us. And it's going to be very exciting. It's asking us also to lay down any Ten of Wands, which is being overburdened with responsibilities. Perhaps this is speaking actually to the old paradigms. Yeah, 1414 on the clock. You know, this is speaking to being overburdened with worrying and, you know, straining and stressing through the narratives, the storylines, the lifestyle, the norms, perhaps even, that we've been taught are the way to move through life. It really is just creating too much pressure, right? And it leads us into this kind of energy, you know? It's like carrying all of this for this. And it's just not, it's not sustainable. You know, it's not conducive. There's a different alternative path on the horizon here for us. And it is a more jovial path, a much more joyous path. And it involves, you know, a lot more light and a lot more abundance within it. Yeah, right behind the 10 of Wands, we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, of course, is, you know, the fates are spinning, you know, it again, time of change. And it's a big change. There are imminent, larger changes. And the way that the wheel turns, again, it's always based on how we shift our own perspective and how we look at the events in our life and events in the world around us, in the environment that shapes our world. How do we view it? Do we view it through a positive lens of, you know, I am abundant, I am loved, I am safe, I am happy, and, you know, life and the universe work for me and I work with it and I can celebrate that? Or, you know, is there this feeling of, ugh, you know, it's happening to me instead of for me. It's happening at me, you know, it's out of my control. I feel it spinning in a negative direction and I can't stop it. I feel powerless, you know. The universe will reflect back to you whatever it is you are looking through, you know, whatever lens you're looking through, the universe will just simply show you that back. So in the energy here, as we said, what I was feeling was very much sort of this, there's a choice on the table, you know, there's the choice on the table to either stay in sort of a 10 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, more miserly space, or to move into a kind of a higher path. Any clarification on the outcome? Any clarification, please, on outcome for this next week in time and where we're at here in the collective? Any collective clarification on where we're at? Whoop. The Chariot. So it's imminent. The Chariot is also full steam ahead. This is a decisive energy. This is an energy of take control of it. Make your peace with how you're going to handle it. Make your peace with whatever that spark of truth from the Ace of Swords, whatever piece of wisdom has landed into your life. Accept it, make a choice with it, and be inspired and move forward. Take action. There were a lot of wands on the table as well. Wands are all about action, decisive action. And the Chariot is very Cancerian energy. It's major arcana for Cancer. And it is I am committed, you know, heart and soul to my decision, and I move forward with it with great faith. And it's driven by will, really. Willing forward towards, this new, abundant, beautiful, connected energy. Very divine feminine energy, and really gender does not matter because we all have male and female within us. So however you identify, regardless of how you identify, we really embody all of it, and we are all of it. And the feminine energy is really representative of a very nurturing, a very inclusive, very caretaking, open, fertile energy that allows for transformation. You know, there's nothing barren. There's nothing there's nothing cut off, you know, with the female energy. The female energy is receptive, and it really sends out love, light, and nurture to absolutely everything living, recognizing the beauty and the light spark in absolutely all of it. And this energy is what our planetary shift is embracing more of. And it's particularly, I mean, of course, it's when we face one another as human beings, we're employing more of this energy. We're going to be choosing to collectively employ more of this energy, but also this Ace of Swords, this spark of truth. Part of that divine knowledge is simply that we must start turning more to this divine feminine energy, this nurturing, fertile, abundant energy, and finding ways to connect back to our mother source, our earth, our Gaia, and getting more connected with her health, because her health is our health. So a lot of messages here, particularly with this oracle. But yeah, thank you so much for being here today. I hope that this cast some light and some thought onto the week ahead, and we will speak again soon. Take care. Namaste.